Happy hump day. We have a 9-game NBA slate. Let's talk some basketball. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and we're back to talk some more NBA action. That was an ugly slate yesterday. 1 and 2 day, all half unit plays. We move on. It could have been 2 and 1. We got hooked on one of them, but not too worried. We'll go over the recap in just a little bit. But of course, reminder that there's a promo out right now for the new website that is launched. And if you didn't see it the last couple days, here's just a quick summary of it. It's $14.99 a month. Just a ton of value here on this website. A lot of premium tools. Again, email notification right when I post a bet. That can be really helpful, especially on Fridays with NFL player props. I'll find a bet at 10 a.m., noon. I'll post them right away, but I don't get all my notes and video out until later in the day. But all those premium tools, which are in the tutorial video on our YouTube page now. So go check it out. Just a quick 11-minute video, show you kind of how to use everything. And then Discord has officially moved over to this website as well. There's chat rooms in there, NBA, NFL, all that kind of stuff. You got a community page, which I think is going to be awesome. We can all post our bets with some write-ups and also tail each other with one click of a button, all that kind of stuff. It's just a lot of fun. A lot of work went into this. And then baseball season comes around. I think I'm probably going to release some pitcher reports and maybe some good hitter matchups, things like that on the weekend that you can get on the website. And then, of course, we got betting contests. I cannot wait for that. We are working on it behind the scenes right now. So as you see over there, the promo code JABOXmas is 1 free month. But if you want to get a 1-year membership, it's a much cheaper deal. It's $150 a year, or current customers also stay at $9.99 a month if you're already a part of the website. But overall, that's what we got for justabetoutside.com. That is our new hub. And speaking of that, we got to talk about some shout outs here. And we got 7 new members that just joined the website. At Shabria87, at George Fenderson 5, at Salmons 83 Stew, at Dominique Foster 834, at 12 Mark 54, at Passion Williams 213, and at MTHOLUB. I'll just say that. M Tholub. I don't know. Sorry if I butchered those names, but really appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys in the website. But that's what we got. Let's get into it now. I got a little dad joke to start us off. So here we go. Did you hear about the Spanish magician? They can't find him anywhere. He said uno, dos, then disappeared without a trace. That's not bad. All right, in this video, we got a lot to go over. We got yesterday's recap, and then we're going to talk defenses versus the small forward position. And then we're going to talk teams on a back-to-back today, the G's of threes, like we do every Wednesday. I'll give you any leans, best bets, and then we'll finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Also, hit that hype button if you're on mobile. Really helps this channel grow. Leave a comment if you have any time, even if it's just an emoji. I would appreciate it. And then, of course, if you're new to the channel, come join us. Got an awesome community here. A lot of smart people giving away winning picks all over. So hit that subscribe button. But I'm ready to get it rolling. And that means it's recap time. All right, there it is. A ho-hum 1 and 2 day. Again, all half unit plays. Did not like the slate at all. But Josh Hart, double-double. He took a chance. Plus 140. Just didn't get the rebounds. I mean, obviously, points was easy, but not many people got rebounds on the Knicks, actually. It was really spread out. 1 point in the third quarter, not one person had 5 rebounds on the team. So I didn't watch the whole game, but he just didn't get the job done, unfortunately. But Dylan Harper over 10.5 points. I thought he was going to hook us, but luckily he came back in the fourth quarter, scored 5 more points. He actually missed like 3 or 4 free throws. He could have scored 20 today, but I think he ended with 15. So nice winner there. And then the added play. This line, I think, opened in the morning at 20.5 points and rebounds. I got it at 21.5. And what does he do? He lands on 21, 13 points, 8 rebounds. In the first quarter, he had a couple quick rebound chances that he should have grabbed at least one of them. And they had a reverse layup that he just missed. He was mad at himself for it. I thought in my head, there's no way that's going to ruin us, right? Well, sure enough, it did. But it happened. So we'll take a 1 and 2 day. Again, 16-8 runs still in the last 24. So on a nice little run here. Now on the season, we are up 2.95 units. And then we're 23-17 on under player props. So let's get it rolling now. That's what we got for the recap. It's time for the small forwards. All right, we start with the defenses, giving up the most points to the small forward position. Again, we do this every day. Start with point guards on Monday, all the way to centers on Friday. If it's in green, that team or player is just playing today. There's no matchups here, but you see the Magic, Bucks, and Nets are playing today. Lakers, Wizards, and Jazz giving up the most points to the small forward position this year. And then you see Jaylen Brown over there crushing it, averaging around 29 points per game, Markkanen 28, and then we got 5 in a row of small forwards playing today. Kawhi, Durant, Norman Powell, Michael Porter Jr., and Franz Wagner. So, again, take a screenshot. Hopefully this helps. Let's move over to the rebounds now. And we got two matchups. The Bulls are facing Michael Porter Jr. How about 7.4 rebounds per game? Having a really good year that nobody's really talking about because he's on the Nets, of course. But Bulls giving up around 8.5 rebounds. And then Bucks facing Asar Thompson, not Amen. He is averaging 6.1 rebounds per game. Bucks giving up 8.38. You see the Blazers up there playing today. They're giving up the most rebounds to small forwards at 10.02. So that's what we got for the rebounds. Now let's talk the assists. And we got two matchups. The Charlotte Hornets facing Mikal Bridges. That's right, Mikal Bridges of the Knicks. 4.4 assists per game. And Hornets giving up around 4.5. Rockets 4.5 giving up, facing DeMar DeRozan 3.6. Again, assists, small forwards. Not a stat that you just kind of rely a bet on, but that's what we got if you're looking at any overs. Now let's look at some under possibilities. These are the toughest, smallest forward matchups in the league this year. Warriors and Thunder giving up the fewest points. And then you see the next 7 of them are all playing today with the Mavericks, Bulls, and Spurs all in the top 5. And then fewest rebounds over there, you see the Spurs again at 5th, so top 5 in points and rebounds allowed to small forwards. And then over there on the assists, you got Kings, which is surprising that they're at the top of anything. But Pistons and then Pacers also in the top 5 that are playing today as well, with the Spurs right there at 7. So they're in the top 7 of points, rebounds, and assists allowed to the small forward position. So hopefully that helps you get some winners. Again, go check out the other slides as we go throughout the week. Hopefully they help you, as a part of your handicap and everything. But that's what we got for the small forwards. Now let's talk some back-to-backs. All right, we got 3 teams on a back-to-back, and that is their record against the spread on 0 days rest. The Blazers 3-0 ATS. This is already their 4th game on a back-to-back. As we just found out earlier, just a couple days ago, the Rockets played just their first back-to-back game of the season. But Spurs 1-1 ATS, and the Knicks also play a second night of a back-to-back today. They are also 1-1 against the spread. So that's what we got for the back-to-backs. Now let's talk the G's of threes. All right, here is page 1 of the G's of threes. If you're new to the channel, we do this every single week on a Wednesday. These are the hottest shooters from downtown. So you have to have taken 40 or more threes and shoot 40% or better to make this list. And then over there on the right side are the defenses in the last 8 games, giving up the highest three-point percentage to their teammates or to their opponents, just to kind of help you out. But we start with Donovan Mitchell up there. But as you can see, we got Colin Gillespie. How about 50.7%? Jamal Murray there at 50%, who's dealing with an ankle injury now. AJ Green's been great all season shooting the ball, 54.2% from 3. And if they played less than 8 games, you'll see a note next to it just to kind of help you with how many they're taking a game and all that kind of stuff. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker also playing great basketball since coming over to the Hawks this year, just really filling in for Trae Young, but he's shooting 45.8%. So there's the rest of the guys. Take a screenshot. Now let's check out page 2. And as you can see, there's 4 guys that played just under 8 games. With Michael Porter Jr., 6 games. Trey Murphy 6, Hunter 7, and Norman Powell also 7 games. But Cam Johnson for the Nuggets finally picking it up down there, 54.5% from 3-point range. Michael Porter, like we talked about, is shooting 45% as well. And then Max Christie down there, 45.2% for the Mavericks. And there's all the rest of the guys, including big man Naz Reid, Jabari Smith for the Rockets, De'Aaron Fox also 40% as well. So that's what we got for page 2. We're not done. We got one more page. Jokic at 45.2%. You see there. Cam Spencer of the Grizzlies. How about 46.3%? Down to Keontae George, or not Keontae, Keyshawn George. Sorry, different K George. This is of the Wizards, 42.5% in 7 games. So again, hopefully this helps you out, get some winners, whether it's points or just matchups and 3-point bets, things like that. But that's what we got for all the research help. Now it's time for the leans. All right, before we get to the best bets, I have 3 leans to talk about. The first one, how about Peyton Watson of the Nuggets, over 21.5 PRAs. This guy's played really well lately, and a lot of it's because Aaron Gordon is out and Christian Braun. So in those 6 games without those 2 guys, he's over in 5 of 6, averaging 28.5 PRAs per game, crushing this line, averaging 33 minutes per game, over 13 field goal attempts per game, also 10.8 rebound chances, 5 potential assists. Now he gets a game against a fast-paced Pacers team that, let's face it, can't defend anybody. On top of that, which I don't even think it's baked into this line, but Jamal Murray is questionable. Hurt himself last game, may not even play. So love the usage, love the volume here for him to possibly go over his PRAs line again. Next one, Ryan Nembhard, over 13.5 points plus assists. This is a risky one, but also kind of not really. Let's talk about it real quick. He's a starting point guard, it looks like, for the Dallas Mavericks. They've been trying lots of different players. I think the books are a little slow to move this. So last game, he played 35 minutes, and he had 38 PAs. I mean, it was absolutely insane. He took 14 field goal attempts, had 15 potential assists, and same numbers get for a guy who has a 13.5, 14.5 line. Again, these lines are not out on every book, so I'm not sure exactly where it's going to open. But I don't see a reason why they don't play him at point guard after how he played. He's facing the Heat, the fastest paced team in the league. Also giving up the sixth most assists to point guards, 14th most points. Good matchup, possibly really good minutes here. He did shoot 12 of 15 last game. I don't expect that at all, but we don't need that to get 14 or 15 PAs. So the third one, this is probably my least favorite. Under 231 in the Kings and Rockets game. Last 5 games, Rockets play at the fourth slowest pace. They've been doing that all year. Kings play at about an average pace. Rockets could score 125 here, and we still cash because the Kings are that bad offensively. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings didn't hit 100 here. So this Rockets team, also may take their foot off the gas pedal in the fourth. Maybe it leads to rat ball in the fourth quarter when it's a blowout. Sometimes that can also hurt you, though. But both teams do a good job at limiting fast break points, those quick scores. Rockets 4th, Kings 12th. I think I see more of a physical game. Rockets are under in 60% of their home games. So you can go Kings team total under or under in the full game, which is where I lean. I'm probably not going to get to the window with this, but just kind of wanted to talk through this one. So that's what I got for my leans. Now it is time for the best bets. All right, we head right back out to that game where the Rockets host the Sacramento Kings. Rockets minus 15.5, total 231.5, also 231 on some books. It's the one unit play. Give me Zach LaVine under 19.5 points, minus 120 on Bet365. Again, when I'm doing this video tonight, there just is not a ton of books that have a lot of odds out. They had odds for Rockets players, but not for Kings, probably because Malik Monk and others are kind of on the injury report. So I only have this on Bet365. We'll see where it opens. Just want to let you know in case you guys get a different line by the time you see it. But let's talk LaVine this season. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, he started red hot. He absolutely did, and then he came back crashing down to earth. He scored 30-plus points in 5 of his first 6 games. That's not the kind of player he is. Since then, in his last 13 games, he's under this line in 9 of 13, averaging just 16.7 points per game. So his 4 overs in those 13, by the way, Minnesota twice, the Grizzlies, and the Jazz. So he's a boomer bust kind of guy. And in tough matchups lately, he had 8 points and 8 points against Oklahoma City, 12 and 15 in the 2 games against Denver, 8 versus Spurs, and 13 versus Suns. So he struggles in tough matchups, and this one is almost as tough as it gets. Rockets giving up the 3rd fewest points to shooting guards in the NBA at 19.4. LaVine scores in transition, gets to the rim, also scores from deep. I'm losing my voice. Sorry, guys. Trying to fight through this sickness. In the last 10 games, Rockets have allowed the 7th fewest three-point attempts, allowed the 4th fewest fast break points, and the 7th fewest points in the paint. Some shooting guards recently versus the Rockets. How about Devin Booker, 18 points. Donovan Mitchell had a 27.5 line. He scored 21. Desmond Bane did have a good game. He scored 26, but that was also an overtime game in 44 minutes with 20 shots. They held Shaedon Sharpe to 19 points. Devin Vassell, 15 points in 33 minutes. Held Cooper Flagg when he did play shooting guard because Clay was that small forward that game. Held him to 12 points. So game script, you guys already know. It's an absolutely massive 15.5 point spread. Kings are horrendous. I expect a blowout. LaVine may have to score 20 in just 3 quarters in this one. So I love his under. Again, he's averaging just 16 points per game in the last 13. And now he has 19.5 line in a really brutal matchup. The line's too high. I've had success fading players versus OKC and Houston. Hopefully we can keep that rolling. But give me LaVine under 19.5 points as my first best bet. All right, this next one takes us out to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where the Bucks host the Detroit Pistons. Pistons minus 3.5, total is 231.5. I know you're going to roll your eyes. We're going back to the well. Give me the Greek freak, Giannis, over 29.5 points for a half unit here on this one, minus 120 on FanDuel. Now, we bet him last game. He burned us. Now, I didn't watch the game. I went back and watched a little bit of it. I've read a little bit about it also and what happened, but he deferred to KPJ quite a bit, who scored 30 points that game. Oh, by the way, KPJ may not be playing. He injured himself last game. He was also in a little bit of foul trouble versus Washington, but they just lost to the Washington Wizards. Not the Bullets, the Wizards. I think he comes out in absolute beast mode in this one. Giannis this season overall, he's over this line in 10 of 16 games. One of the unders also was due to injury, left early, but nice buy low spot after going under in 2 straight. He played 31 minutes last game, which is what you like to see coming back from that injury, but averaging 18.4 field goal attempts per game this year. I think we see about 20 shots here. Also averaging over 10 free throw attempts per game, just making 63% of them. I just have a feeling he's going to knock down some free throws, but that's not what I'm counting on. But anyways, facing the Pistons, not the easiest matchup on paper, but not incredibly hard like you would think. He played this team 3 times last year. He scored 59, 28 and 32. So Giannis is a guy who's pretty much matchup proof, obviously. Last 10 games, Pistons 11th in fast break points allowed, 8th in points in the paint allowed. So a good defense, but it's not something that absolutely scares me here. Lots of trade rumors swirling around with Giannis right now. I think it motivates him more here. At least I hope it does. I'm going to go right back to it. Give me the Greek Freak over 29.5 points as my second best bet. All right, this third one takes us out to the ATL where the Hawks host the LA Clippers. Hawks minus 3.5. Total is 228.5. I got another 1 unit play. It's a player prop. Give me Jalen Johnson over 16.5 rebounds plus assists. Got this at minus 108 on FanDuel. I'm not understanding this line, but he has been one of the best players in the NBA this season. He's just smooth and just really fun to watch, and he's on a roll lately. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, without Trae Young, he is over this line in an insane 13 of 16 games, averaging 18.75 RAs per game. A below average game still cashes this one. Now, in the 7 games without Trae Young and Porzingis, because yes, Porzingis is also out in this game. As you can see by this outlier screenshot, over in all 7 games, not just that, he is averaging around 21.5 RAs per game. We just need 17. In those 7 games without them, he is averaging 37.1 potential RAs. That's a huge number. Also, how about averaging a ridiculous 40 minutes per game? It's just crazy here. Now I face the Clippers. In the last 10 games, they're 20th in rebounding rate, 12th in assists allowed overall. They have the 6th worst defensive rating. I mean, this team is an absolute joke right now. Not a really tough matchup for him like you would think in past years. He's a power forward, obviously, but he plays like a point guard for the Hawks, kind of a point forward type. I'm going to ride the JJ train here. So give me Jalen Johnson over 16.5 rebounds plus assists. That is my third and final best bet on the video. Of course, any added plays will be in the pinned comments below. But before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My 3 best bets so far for the Wednesday slate. Zach LaVine under 19.5 points, minus 120 for a unit. Again, this is the only book that had lines when we recorded this, so be sure to check to see what it comes out at. But Giannis over 29.5 points for a half unit at minus 120. And then Jalen Johnson over 16.5 rebounds plus assists, 1 unit play at minus 108 on FanDuel. That's what I got for you. Let's have a great Wednesday in the NBA. Again, hit that like button if you haven't already, but I really appreciate the support every single day. Hope you have a great hump day, and we'll talk to you soon.